Good evening, everyone. It's 1 o'clock here at the Wineman's, and tonight's wine, it's a very special wine for me. This is the Winemakers Reserve Durif from Berton Vineyards in Australia. This is so special because I absolutely love this wine. It's been a while since I've tasted it, and I'm really excited to try it again tonight. We've got the 2018 vintage. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this wine, why I love it so much, why I love Berton Vineyards so much, and we're going to taste this bad boy and see exactly what it thinks. So let's start with Berton Vineyards, owned and run by Bob Berton and his family. And this is a great vineyard. Started in 1996. Bob and his wife just found a bit of scrubland and decided to plant what they first called the bonsai vineyard. They had some winemakers who came round and they said, look, nothing's going to grow here except bonsai trees. So what a cool name for a vineyard. Let's start with a bonsai wine. They had a few little tanks and they messed around with a couple of water butts and just started with that first bonsai Shiraz. I'm going to review that in a few days' time. But tonight's wine is the Winemakers Reserve Durif. Now, Winemakers Reserve, you get Bob's signature. This means that he stands behind this wine. He puts his whole weight and his whole passion behind it. He says it's amazing, and believe me, it is. It's made by James Ciccato, who's the lead winemaker in Berton Vineyards, and they're in Riverina in Australia, and they have some of, in my opinion, the best plots of land for making wine just like this. So Durif is also known in some countries as Petit Syrah. And it's an interesting one because it's sort of a cross. It's a cross between Syrah or Shiraz and Pelosin, which is another grape variety. And they've basically hybrided them, a bit like you do with a rose when you squeeze them both together and they produce their own varietal. It's absolutely amazing because the flavors and the intensity and the color and the aromas that come out of most Petit Durifs are remarkable. So, big glass for this one. It deserves it. Let's have a look at this beautiful, beautiful wine. Look at that. Look how inky dark it is. Look, it's incredible. Look at it. It's beautiful in terms of the intensity of colour. Oh my God, the aromas. So, you get instant hit of anise. Then you get blackcurrant. Then you get this very, very subtle, very soft oak. The reason you get the oak is because what they do is they take the grapes, they squish them gently, and they basically let them sit on a bed of oak chips just to add a little bit of complexity, a little bit of oak characteristic to the wine. But they don't want it to be over-influenced by that. So they take it away after about 4 or 5 days, and basically it gets put into these stainless steel casks. Then it's taken away out of there. Then it's given some French oak influence, which actually then changes the structure and the characteristic of the wine. It softens the tannins. It allows them to be much more gentle and much more rounded, and adds this incredible complexity and beauty to what is quite an intense wine. So it makes it a wine that's muscular, but it's also soft. So it's not a warrior, but it is a gentle warrior. And it's a beautiful wine. It's truly remarkable. Mm. 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 Oh my God. Wowza. So, what you get, let me put this glass down. What you get is intense tannins that smack you right in the face. I'm Australian, you will love me. And then they just linger, and then they linger, and then they just go, actually, you're going to love me even more now because I'm soft and I'm velvety and I'm silky and I'm smooth and I'm chocolatey and I'm coffee characteristic, and it's got violet, it's got spice, it's got everything. You couldn't want any more from a really good value wine. I mean, this is around £10-11 a bottle. It's outrageous value. It will improve if you want it to. It's going to go with a T-bone steak. It's going to go with a lamb shank. It's going to go It's going to go great on its own. If you like a rich red wine, I highly, highly recommend this wine. I'm going to go back and I'm going to have some tonight with a nice steak, and I hope you try some yourself soon. This is in my taster case for September, which will be launched later on today. So keep an eye on that, because what we're going to do is we're going to showcase Bob's wines only. All of the whites, all of the reds, only from Berton Vineyards. You won't go wrong. Cheers.